Hello and welcome to a Procreate tutorial by Nikolai Lockertsen. So I'm gonna just jump in here. This is moving 1000% faster than I painted it, so we're going really fast. I'm just knocking in some shapes here because I have a basic idea. It's like a winter landscape in my neighborhood. So I'm just putting in the big buildings. Like on the left side you see a big house, and then center a little higher in the image is a bus shed where I stand and freeze every day waiting for my bus going to Oslo. So I don't use any perspective lines or so this time. I'm just going straight ahead and just trying to capture something I saw a couple of days ago in the morning time, where the transition light was, where you still had lights in the streets, but it was also not very dark, so you have this fantastic blue light in the winter. Everything is snowy, snow in the air. You see some warm light inside the windows, and yes, it's basically a feeling that I'm trying to capture here more than a perfect painting. And I'm also gonna quit before this gets really detailed. This video is 1.5 hours of painting squeezed into about 9-minute video, so everything is moving probably too fast to really pick up on what kind of brush I'm using or what kind of color I just picked. But yeah, this is sort of a test for me making one of these tutorials. So I'm started to do a little more detail in the image here now, putting in some lights, getting the palette going, getting the I have the cold, I need the warm, so I have you can sort of never go wrong if you have both blue and orange in your, like, kind of being the two big contrast colors in your painting. It's always gonna give you a sort of a nice palette, complementary colors. So here I'm trying to find the right mood. So I've multiplied the layer. I worked in one layer, and then I put the top layer into overlay mode, which gives it more contrast and brings darker tones even darker and brighter tones even brighter, so to get a bit more bang in the image. And I'm still kind of, working on the composition, putting in some trees, some bushes, trying to find the right tone on that roof, and then getting a bit better silhouette on the car standing beside the house. And yeah, still early on in the image, everything could still easily change, and it's also part of my technique, or part of my philosophy, is to work fast and to keep it light as long as possible until you really know for certain that the composition works, the palette works. In the end, when you feel like you're on your way to an image or painting that can become a nice painting, then it's just about man hours to make it a beautiful render. But sort of all the brain works goes in the start of the image. All the big decisions, all the headaches. Why isn't the composition working? Why is this light not looking right? All that stuff. So that to get a bit more balance in this image, I wanted to turn on the lights on this car, because it's it's kind of heavy on the right side here because of this big building. I need something to counterweight that a bit. Not sure if this car is enough because it's pretty much in the center of the image, but yeah, it's gonna help a little, I think. And I put a bit glow on a separate layer on top, and I also put this on. I think I put it on screen mode, and I put the opacity down. Then I merged it again. Then I'm keep continuing painting in. I'm still in one layer now, or back in one layer, just to not having too much thoughts into, oh, which layer am I in. It's still early in the painting. It's still rough, so I will try to keep it as simple as possible. And yeah, starting to put in some detail here and there, working on the silhouettes of buildings and the car. This is a tunnel going under the road up there, where my bus is also going. So my children will go underneath this tunnel to get to their school when they get old enough. And it's still about capturing the mood of this morning. Here I'm using the distort tool, fantastic tool by the way, in Procreate, to get a bit more perspective on that road. Still not using any perspective lines in this one. I usually do though. I usually start out with perspective lines, but this one I wanted to like shoot from the hip and see how it ended up looking. Getting a bit more detail on the windows, making them pop a little more. And yeah, just I very often go out to see the whole painting, just to see where something doesn't work, and then I zoom in and then I work on the detail. But I try not to zoom in the early stages. Like in the beginning of the video, I was pretty much a little far out, even zoomed out, so the whole image is like a smaller, like a thumbnail in the middle of the screen. It's much easier to work on the whole canvas that way in the beginning, and then you can start zooming in when you work on the detail. And I'm gonna stop pretty soon. I'm gonna go from Procreate over to Snapseed to do the final adjustments on this one. So this will still be a really rough painting. This was sort of 1.5 hours brute forcing. I don't have any reference on this. I just tried to paint by how I remembered it to look. So I'm over in Snapseed now, trying to just do the final grading, coloring, getting the contrast and the vignettation and a little tilt shift I put on in the end, just to get the top and the bottom of the image a little out of focus, just to have the car and the building in sort of center of attention. I also cropped the image to get a bit more cinematic format on it, and that was it. That was 1.5 hours of painting. So the first of many to come. Thank you.